Welcome to the New 50 Noob. I'm Simple Simon, and today I'm going to be showing you some old comic books that I owned. For those who are new to this show or my channel, basically I'm a comic book noob. I've only been into comics for about a year, but I love talking about them. Now, for those who haven't watched this before, you may have heard the same story over and over. I am a broken record once you get to know me for more than a day, but I did used to be into comics when I was a teenager. When I sort of started to be interested in them again, I actually came across just a small stash that I used to have when I was a kid, when my parents were moving out of my childhood home, and I was like, nah, let me grab those, and I actually read one of the books in there, which actually really got me back into this world, and now I'm basically obsessed with it. So today, I'm going to show you that little stash that I found from some of the books that I owned from when I was a kid. So today's video is called The Comic Book Time Capsule. Let's do this. Okay, so this is my little comic book time capsule here. Now, I haven't actually opened this for a long time, so it's not like I went through this before I planned this video. I literally was just like, I'm gonna show off these books in this box. Let's have a look. Ooh, the top one's a good one. Can you see? Don't see. But look at this. I even had it bagged and boarded back in the day. Who would have thought? This one's a cool one. Issue 1 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures. On Archie Comics. I was a big fan of the Ninja Turtles growing up in the 90s, and yeah, this book is kind of cool. Like, I'm actually quite happy I got this. I remember, now this is not my whole comic book collection. I actually had a massive Spider-Man collection. I remember my first issue of Spider-Man I ever bought, I think it was the Amazing Spider-Man 400, had a tombstone on the cover, and it was the death of Aunt May. And I remember reading that and just going, this is good. And I just kept reading Spider-Man. It was all throughout the whole Clone Saga and all that stuff with Scarlet Spider. So yeah, I was there for all that. I didn't understand comic books back then though. I just read them. So I didn't know Marvel Universe, DC Universe. So I was just like, there's comic books, I'm gonna read them. What are the gems are in here? Look at this. On Malibu Comics, bagged but no board. Mortal Kombat, Blood and Thunder. Look how floppy it is. Issue 1. Obviously, again, Mortal Kombat was huge in the 90s. It's when the video came out, when the first video Mortal Kombat came out, and you were ripping people's heads off with their spines attached. Like, it was just out of control. So that's pretty cool. And I believe we've got a few issues, maybe the first 3 issues of this in here. Oh, look at this one. Punisher issue 100. It's got a foil cover there. Now, I believe the Punisher might kill himself in this issue. I can't remember, but I think that's actually what happens. So yeah, that's a pretty cool one I've got in here. I was never a huge Punisher fan. I like the idea of the character, but again, I didn't really read a lot of it. Who remembers Bongo Comics, who had the Simpsons comics? So I remember, so this is Radioactive Man, issue 1, and it's got a glow-in-the-dark cover. When you turn the lights off, basically, you can see his skeleton. Now, I remember specifically the first issue of Radioactive Man, first issue of Simpsons, Itchy and Scratchy, and Bartman. They all came with a poster. Now, I had all of them except for Itchy and Scratchy. All the first issues came with a poster, and they actually all joined up together. Because I never had Itchy and Scratchy issue 1, I literally had like 3 posters and it was just missing that corner, which kind of sucked. But yes, Radioactive Man issue 1, kind of cool. Again, I don't know where my Simpsons comics are, or my my Bartman comics. I had all those too, but again, they're just lost in the circuits of time. I also had a massive Sonic the Hedgehog collection. When it was on Archie, I had about, I reckon, 60, 70 issues in a row, and it really hurts my brain when I think about all the comics that I don't have in this stash, which I used to own. Another Mortal Kombat. Shadow of the Bat. Now, I never read this, but I remember I was at this shop called Minotaur, which is like a pop culture shop in Melbourne, but they do have a lot of comic books there. Now, for those who are from Melbourne here, this was not where Minotaur is located now. It was actually the original Minotaur when it was on Burke Street next to the cinema, and it was like 3 levels. That's when I got this. I was there with a friend, and his friend basically was this kid who just had lots of money. And basically I looked at this cover and I was like, that's a pretty cool cover. And his friend said to me, do you want it? I was like, what? He goes, I'll buy it for you. I was like, really? Like, I was like, I don't know, 12, 13 or something. He's like, yeah man, I'll buy it for you. And he just bought me this comic. So that was a real nice gesture, and yeah, I've still got it, but yeah, I never actually read this one. These ones, I think, Detective Comics 686. Detective Comics Batman 687. I believe these actually came out of a show bag, I believe. So just a couple of random Batman ones. Again, I don't believe I probably read these ones. But yeah, just a few old ones. Batman 520, Detective Comics Year 1, 95 Annual. That's a cool cover with the Riddler on it. Yeah, so they're just randoms, I guess, that I believe they were from a show bag. Now, look at this one. Batman, the 1989 movie. Woo, that's a good one. I'm quite glad I got this still. This is I read this. I definitely read this one. Batman for me, obviously I got into the show because of the 66 Batman, you know, Adam West, Burt Ward. That's the names, right? But when the Michael Keaton Batman came out, that was like the first real Batman. Because, you know, respect to the old, you know, 66 Batman, but 89 Batman was when Batman became badass. Now, I was never huge into X-Men. I used to collect X-Men comics, but I was never huge into reading them. I liked X-Men because of the 90s X-Men cartoon series, which was amazing. And because of that, I ended up buying X-Men comics as well, but I was never huge into reading them. So I'm sure heaps of people know this one, and that is X-Men Alpha issue 1, which was during the Age of Apocalypse. Now, I always thought that this was going to be worth a mint someday because yeah, foil cover back in the day, you're just like, man, look at that, it's all shiny, it's gonna be worth money one day. This ain't worth jack. But yeah, I've still got it. It still is a cool cover, you can't deny that. Look at that one. Bag and boarded back in the day when I knew nothing about comics. I still know nothing about comics. Another X-Men here. To All Things an Ending. X-Men number 41, I believe. And that's a cool cover, man. It's got Magneto hugging an Xavier there. Looks like Xavier might have died. I cannot remember anything from these series. The Amazing X-Men issue 1. Again, part of the whole Age of Apocalypse saga or story arc, whatever you want to call it. I have a lot of issue 1s here because, again, I think I was just as a kid, I was like, these would be worth money one day. Thanks to The Simpsons, that episode where they get the comic book. The Astonishing X-Men issue 1. Another one from the Age of Apocalypse. Generation Next, again, issue 1. Again from Age of Apocalypse. Man, I've got like all of them here. Another Generation Next, issue 2 here. I don't know why. Oh, I know why I would have bought this. Because A, it's like, oh, centerfold. I would have bought this because I thought Rogue was an absolute babe, and I actually thought Gambit was a really cool character. Yeah, I think just because of the whole cards thing, yeah, I always thought Gambit was really cool. And I remember, what was it, Gambit and the Externals, was it called, from the Age of Apocalypse series? I don't think that's in here, but I thought I had it. Superman, Man of Steel. Again, I believe this might have been from a show bag. Oh no, I might have bought this, look at this. This one's actually written on the board, so I must have bought this for some reason. Again, don't remember it at all. Look at Aquaman. Old school Aquaman right there. This is not a comic, this is again a Ninja Turtles book about stuff. I don't know why that's in here. A few more random issues from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures. Now I did collect this series, so I don't know how many I had in a row, but they're not all here. I have no idea where most of my comics went from back in the day. Like, I remember the Reign of the Supermen. I had Steel issue 1, and I remember I continued collecting Steel because I really liked that character. Back then basketball was huge, and he was just like the Michael Jordan Superman. Alright, we're nearly done. I thought I had more in here. The rest in here, Ren and Stimpy. Do you remember Ren and Stimpy? I remember Ren and Stimpy. Actually, I don't really remember much about them at all. There's a Ren and Stimpy issue 1 there. That one's on Marvel. That's interesting, because the rest of them here are on Triel Comics, whatever that is. So again, that's when this is thick. Now, I remember a story about this one. This one had a $9.95 cover price. Now, it's still on there. Okay, so back in these days, I used to buy the comic books from a newsagent. This was $9.95. It's $10. That's a lot for a comic book even today. Back then, that's expensive, right? So I used to go down there and look what I did. I remember I took the price of a G.I. Joe comic and stuck it on this and picked it up for $1.95, if you can see that. Yeah, I know, I was a sketchy kid. Hey, I stole like one thing in my whole life, which was a zipper. And I did this once. So yeah, I wasn't all bad as a kid. Yeah, like I said, I remember so many comic books that I had which are not in here. I had an amazing Spider-Man collection, or just Spider-Man in general. There was Spectacular Spider-Man and all that sort of stuff. My Sonic the Hedgehog collection was epic. yeah, so it's really sad that I don't have the full range of what I had from a kid. I wish I really had them, but I don't, and that's that. I believe this is the reason I stopped getting comics. So I'm pretty sure one day I showed up to the newsagent to get some comics, and all of a sudden, oh, we don't sell comics anymore. So what? So after that, I believe the only place you really could go to get comic books was specialty comic shops like Minotaur, and that's probably the only one I can remember from back in the day. It became a lot harder for me to get them because I'd have to go all the way into the city, and again, I didn't have money as a kid. Literally to buy these, I basically used to ask my parents for money. Anyway, that was today's video. Yeah, I just thought it'd be a fun idea to show off some old comic books, so people who are actually into comic books and have been for a long time might see some of these books and be like, I remember that. I was there too. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I make most of my videos about this comic book stuff, about toys, about nerd stuff, with a pinch of MMA. So yeah, check out the rest of my content if you're new, and until next time, guys, thank you for watching again. Keep it simple.